Today I've got sort of a double tutorial for you. The first part is all about this eye look, which is sort of a rainbow, sort of subtle rainbow eyeliner. And then I decided to try my liquid latex, which I bought recently. And this was like, you know, the first attempt at actually making a look with it. So yeah, this is what it turned into. Let's get started. Pretty much as usual, I started out with the Catrice Prime and Fine primer, which is still, basically my favorite primer to use. And I just apply that to every part of my face that gets oily quickly, which is basically all my face. And then I just spread it, obviously. And I also like to put it underneath my eyes and around my nose, just because, you know, foundation and stuff tends to crease more quickly there, and this sort of helps to prevent it. Then I use the green concealer from the Catrice Allround Concealer Palette, because I have some red spots over there. And yeah, the green just neutralizes the red, and then with either foundation or a normal concealer on top of it, it's, you know, it's supposed to turn completely invisible. And then I use the L'Oreal True Match foundation. I think I use the shade Vanilla Rose, but I'm not sure. I'll just list this down below in the description box as usual. And yeah, I should really use this foundation more often, because I absolutely love it. Like, it doesn't only look flawless on camera, it actually looks flawless in real life without looking completely cakey and all. So yeah, really like this. And then for concealer I use the Catrice Camouflage cream in Ivory as usual. And just spread it underneath my eyes and on my cheekbones a little. Just to highlight. And I also highlighted the bridge of my nose with this, just to make it look a bit thinner. And then I went on to powder, obviously. I used the Catrice Nude Illusion loose powder. And yeah, what I always do is just keep it upside down so the powder goes into the lid, and then I just take it from the lid. Just the easiest way to work for me. And then I just use a dense brush to put it on my eyes and on my, or like underneath my eyes and on my eyelids. Not on my actual eyeballs, obviously. And then I just highlight my jawline with it. It makes a little bit of a difference, but just enough to, you know, be visible. And then just use a fluffy brush to apply powder to the rest of my face. Then for shaping I use the Big Bold bronzing powder this time. I haven't used it in a while, but this time I just wanted a sort of more of a warm bronzed look than really a harsh or, you know, defined shaper. More just like a bronze look. I did apply quite a lot on my cheekbones because I do want them to stand out, because yeah, this is basically my thing. I always want them to stand out. And then on my nose and my forehead I applied obviously less, and I just, you know, basically spread it all around. Then for blush I use the Essence Blush Up Blush in Heatwave, and this time I use the middle of it, which makes it a coral tone. And for highlight I used the Undress Your Skin one by Makeup Academy with the same brush, because I really did also want highlight to stand out this time. Otherwise I would have used a fan brush that makes it more subtle. Then for the eyes I started out with the Maybelline Color Tool in Crème de Rose as usual. Like the powder will prevent the creasing, but this just makes the eyeshadow, you know, grab onto it better. Then I use this Trio by Max, which is a brand from a Dutch budget store, but you know, they're just basic shades. I use the taupe shade in my crease. As you can see, it doesn't really stand out all that much, but it just gives a little bit of a shadow. It was more visible in real life, I gotta say. Then I use the white shade underneath my eyebrows and also in my inner corners just to highlight. And then I went on to the black shade. And I just sort of made a line underneath my lower lashes just to make them stand out a little bit more. And then it was time for color. I started out with the Sleek palette in Ultra Matte Volume 1. And the yellow shade. I used the same brush for that as I used for the black, but I did obviously wipe it off on a towel. And I just applied that color in my inner corner. Then went on to orange and you basically just continued the eyeliner with that. And I also just blended it in a little bit with the yellow. Now this palette doesn't have any red shades, so I also used the Urban Decay Electric palette, which does have a red shade. Right there in the top middle. And I just used that on the pretty much the center of my eye. And then I used a burgundy shade. And just put it on the outer corner of my eye and just blended it with red. Blends really well with red, by the way. And then lastly I did the wing in purple. Now if you don't use this palette, then, you know, do make sure to pick a color that's you know, like equally pigmented, because otherwise it will just look like a, you know, like a weird purple stain rather than something that's supposed to be there. But yeah, I just made the entire wing in purple, and then I used a blue shade on a pencil brush and I blended that in the lower lash line. Just because I did also want that color to be in there. Come to think of it, I didn't feature green in the eye look, but yeah. And it looks like that. And then I decided I did want the crease to be a little bit deeper, so I went back to the trio and used the black shade and an angled brush just to apply some black to the crease. And basically I layered it and then yeah, just blended it. As you can see, it's not a very black, but yeah, it works. Then I used this white metallic eye pencil by Essence in my waterline, just to make my eyes look, you know, really bright and awake. And then it was time for mascara. I used the Scandaleyes Lycra Flex Mascara from Rimmel. Mainly because, well, like, this is a mascara I really like, but I'm noticing that this one is getting old. So I figured I might as well use it a lot of times, so, you know, I can actually still use it while it still works. And as you can see, it does still work very well. And I'm mainly focused on the top lashes, but I did also really want the bottom lashes to be nice and dark. Then for my eyebrows I used the NYX Tame and Frame brow pomade in chocolate, which I actually, like, I think I've been using it in basically all my tutorials lately. But I don't actually use it all that often in real life, I gotta admit, just because I'm too lazy to use it. Like, I sooner grab a pencil just because it's like only one item I need to grab. So yeah. But I should use it more often, because I do actually really like how it looks. Then for my lips I used the Chic lipstick in, yeah, just a random nameless nude pink shade. I actually really like this lipstick, it's really old, so I don't think this exact one is still available anywhere. But yeah, like I said, it's just a pink nude shade, slightly darker than the average pink nude shade. And that's the final step of the normal look. And then it's on to the more yeah, special effect look. So I started out with liquid latex. I bought this one, this bottle at bol.com, where they sell basically anything. And yeah, it doesn't have a brand name on it or anything, but it works really well. I did use a brush here. I do recommend actually using a Q-tip or something, because the brush will be unusable for anything else after this. But yeah, I just mapped out where I want the rainbow patches to be on my skin. And then just wait for them to dry. When the latex is gone clear, it's pretty much dry. Then for this part, I did it dry, but I do actually recommend using a Q-tip and some oil or makeup remover to just sort of like make the edges softer and then peel it off so it looks as if the skin is split open. Because doing it dry actually feels like splitting your own skin open, so, you know, I did that, but don't do that. It's painful, so don't. But yeah, I only realized that I could use oil later. So yeah. Then I used face paint, as you can see here, and water, obviously, to use the face paint to fill in the rainbow parts. And yeah, I did just use an eyeshadow brush for that, because it's water based, so it can just easily be taken off the brush, obviously. Also off the face, but yeah. Anyways, I just started out with purple, and I do actually make sure to keep between the lines. Because, you know, they're supposed to be underneath the skin, so yeah. And I don't really bother blending a lot. I do make the colors overlap a little bit, because that will make blending easier later on, but yeah. Like I said, I'll do the blending later, so I don't really bother with that yet. And basically it's just putting on stripe after stripe of color. And then once everything's on there, I just make a blending brush a little bit wet and then just carefully go over it. Don't go over it too harshly, because then you're gonna end up wiping off the paint, which of course would not be the idea. So yeah, just be careful with this and just keep blending patiently until it's, you know, a nice rainbow patch. Then it's time for glitter. The glitter just came from a budget store, and the fixing spray I used is from Makeup Revolution, which combined just makes the glitter stick on nicely. And that's already the final step of the rainbow patch. I did actually do some shading around the edges, but I've lost footage of it, so I can't show you, but I did do that with black eyeshadow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you know you don't want to do the patches, of course you can also just do the eye look and keep it as a sort of relatively normal eye look. And that was it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye! And I also used the dark brown shade underneath my eye in the outer corner. Yep. And then I added some pink glitter, because